The first official Commodore 64 in over 30 years. Let's get started. This video is brought to you by PCBWay.com in more ways than one. Not only have they sponsored this video, but PCBWay manufactured the boards used in the Commodore 64 Ultimate. Get building your own retro builds with PCBs starting from just $5 for 10 boards. With a choice of colours, you can choose one that fits you and your project. So what are you waiting for? Did you know that PCBWay have a range of Commodore 64 based projects in their shared project area? Pop on over there to see what you can start building for your Commodore 64. PCB prototype the easy way with PCBWay.com.
So the C64U arrives in this outer shipping box. On here you'll see the serial number. So mine is 2045. The model type, so mine is the Founders Edition. Let's get this out. So the Commodore 64 Ultimate. The first official Commodore 64 in over 30 years is here. A faithful recreation of the original motherboard on FPGA hardware. 128 megabytes memory with turbo boost. And here we have the three variations, the basic beige, the Starlight Edition and the Founders Edition. On the rear of the box, there's some things I like on here. Your data, not big data. BBS is not social media. Study, not scrolling. And fun, not feeds. So it harks back to an older, simpler age of computing. Let's open the box. So, the flag. Not quite sure why, but a flag. You have the t-shirt. I rebooted Commodore. Another I rebooted Commodore t-shirt. What we have in the box. We have the Commodore 64. We have some accessories initially that we can see, but I do know that there's a book and a certificate underneath. So let's have a look. Welcome to your digital oasis. What we've all been waiting for. So here we have the Founders Edition. Underneath we have the serial number 2045. And with the translucent case, you can just make out the signatures of the designers and people who had input on this. And if you haven't already noticed, this is in the shape of the Commodore logo with the chicken lips. On the rear of the unit, we have got the expansion port. I have not looked at what this is yet at all. We have the video serial if you want to attach a disk drive. We have the tape connector and HDMI, Ethernet and a couple of USBs. So under here you can see we've got port 1, port 2, a multifunction switch which rocks both ways, and the power connector. So the Commodore User's Guide. Certificate. And some accessories. So Commodore branded HDMI cable, stickers, a power supply. Complete with adapters for all different countries, so won't be needing that one, won't be needing that one, won't be needing that one. This is the one I'll be using. A Commodore Founders Edition box. And finally, the Commodore 64 Ultimate, the very second USB drive. So the keyboard feels quite nice. Let's have a look at the side here. I'm pressing quite hard. There's a little bit of deflection, but not much. Now the shift lock key on the original Commodore 64, when you press it down, it locks in place. This doesn't. So the shift lock is going to be controlled by software. So let's get this thing powered up.
Momentarily pressing the multifunction switch in an upward direction turns on the Commodore 64 Ultimate, causing it to boot to the familiar looking Commodore 64 Basic screen. So how do we go about loading a game? If you have an original Commodore disk drive, then in theory you could use this, although you'd need to deactivate the Ultimate's internal emulated drive first. Emulated disk drive, I hear you say? Yes, that's right, and the included USB drive contains a ton of disk images. And of course, there are plenty of developers still releasing games for the humble Commodore 64. Here are a couple of my favourites, Sam's Journey and A Pig Quest. So let's load a game from a disk image on the USB drive. With the Commodore 64 Ultimate already switched on, momentarily pressing the multifunction switch up brings up the main menu. From here, selecting Disk File Browser with the return key lets you browse any attached USB drives. Here you can see that I've got two USB drives attached to my Commodore 64 Ultimate. USB 1, in this case, is the included the very second USB drive. That's the one that looks like a cassette. To access the drive, navigate using the cursor keys, select it by pressing return, and then press return again to enter the drive. Navigate the drive and folder contents in the same way using the cursor keys and the return key. The left cursor moves back up one folder level. Here you can see the disk image for Acid Runner. You can tell it's a disk image as it has the extension .d64. Page 21 of the manual shows the file extensions for various disk image types. Select the desired disk image and press return. From here there are several options. Run disk will insert the disk in the emulated drive, mount the image, and then run the game. However, mount disk will only insert and mount the disk image, it won't run anything automatically. The emulated disk drives run at the original speed, so this will take some time, and is accompanied by simulated drive sounds emitted from the Commodore 64 Ultimate's internal speaker. I'll speed up the loading in video editing. Another way of accessing the main menu is to press the following keys: Commodore, Restore, and F1. Load time can be decreased by using a fast loader cartridge, such as the Action Replay cartridge. And guess what? The Commodore 64 Ultimate can run cartridge image files without having an actual cartridge plugged into the back of it. Download your favourite fast loader from the internet and copy it to a USB drive. Then from the menu, locate the image. It will have the extension .crt. To ensure that the cartridge image remains persistently attached to the machine, select Copy to Flash. With the Action Replay cartridge in action, let's reboot the machine. From the main menu, this is achieved by pressing F1, then Power and Reset, then Reboot C64. Now, my Commodore 64 Ultimate is booting straight to the Action Replay cartridge as if it had one physically attached to the back of the machine. Let's ensure the disk image I want to load is inserted into the emulated drive. Access the menu, browse to the desired disk image, except this time select Mount Disk. My C64 Ultimate is now sitting here with the disk image in the simulated drive and is sitting at the boot screen of the Action Replay cartridge. Pressing F7 will install the fast load utility, then pressing F1 and return will load and run the game from the disk image using the fast loader. Much faster. If you then want to use a physical cartridge, you'll need to remove the image associated with the cartridge port. Select Memory and ROMs from the main menu, navigate to Cartridge and then select None. However, I'm going to leave the Action Replay image attached for now. Let's take a look at the video setup. Here you can see that I've set mine to 1080p, which is not the default. The default is SD 480p/576p. Changing this to 1080p really made a difference to my captured video that you are seeing here. The scan lines are enabled by default. This is what it looks like without them. Right, let's re-enable them. There are some analog video settings too, but I don't have any devices capable of utilising these. And here you can define whether the digital video is HDMI or DVI. I left mine set to auto and it's working fine with a small Samsung TV and also my HDMI capture equipment. The internal speaker volume is controlled here. I've left mine set to default. The internal speaker is what is used to emit simulated disk drive and tape cassette sounds. Under joystick controllers and joystick input is a super useful option called SWAT. The normal setting behaves as such. Port 1 is port 1 and port 2 is port 2. Let's say you have a joystick connected to port 2, but the game you've just loaded needs it connected to port 1. Then simply enter this menu and select Swapped and the ports get swapped over. I'll leave this set to normal for now. Within LED lighting, you can control the case and keyboard lighting. Now, if I'm being 100% truthful, this is a little bit too bling for me. I only went with this model as I already have one of Gideon's Ultimate boards in a regular C64 case, and so I wanted something to differentiate the two machines. These are the default settings. As well as having them set to a steady colour, you can cycle through colours or have the LEDs follow SID music. I'm leaving mine set to default for now. I've not played with any of the network settings yet. Please drop a comment down below if this is something that you'd want to see more of. Remember earlier when I said that you can use an original floppy drive with the C64 Ultimate? Well, if you want to do that, you'll need to come into Built-in Drive A and disable it. I'll leave it enabled on my machine though. You can also specify the type of floppy drive that should be emulated. The default is the 1541. And finally, the System Information option shows the version of firmware that the machine is running. Before powering off the machine, let's have a look at how the shift lock key behaves. With an original C64, the shift lock key locks in place when pressed. With the Commodore 64 Ultimate, there is an LED inside the shift lock key that illuminates when the shift lock key is on. There are two ways to power off the machine. The first is to press and hold the multifunction button in the down position for around 4 seconds. The second is through software. Within the main menu, press F1, select Power and Reset, and then scroll down to power off, and press Return. So what are my thoughts on this new Commodore 64? Well, I feel that Perifractic and the team have done a fantastic job, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of Commodore next. I feel that the backwards compatibility of this machine is going to appeal to those people who wish to use original hardware, such as floppy drives and cartridges. Then there's the ability for this machine to simulate disk drives, run cartridge images, and easily attach to modern HDMI TVs, making it ideal for those looking for some casual retro gaming fun. Thank you for joining me on my Commodore 64 Ultimate Founders Edition journey. Click here to see how I designed and built my own Commodore 64 games cartridge, and click here to see what the algorithm thinks you will enjoy the most next. Until next time, take care.